You're now listening to the Diversity Roundtable. I'm Pamela Klaba, entrepreneur, inclusion enthusiast, and the founder of Nonkosi Creatives with over 2 decades as a corporate HR professional. My goal is to give you insights into conversations with entrepreneurs and corporate professionals who have insightful stories of triumph and leadership. I uncover my personal journey from cultivating diversity and promoting inclusive communities. We'll also find out why building a prosperous society is vital for leadership roles. Subscribe and get ready to rise, lead, and help define the spirit of South African excellence. Good day. This is Pamela, your host for the Diversity Roundtable. We are shooting in Devon today for episode 18 of the Diversity Roundtable. It's a cold September day on a Monday, but we are so fortunate and blessed to have been invited by the Momentum Metropolitan Holdings to really witness some of the remarkable work that they do in supporting women in farming. So I am graced by the fabulous, the wonderful, beautiful Ms. Tshego Bokaba, who is the Group CSI Manager at Momentum Group Foundation. Yeah. So welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for allowing us into your space. So I was invited by Nonhlanhla Joye, and she said to me, Pam, can you just come and witness, some of the work, some that we do partnering with corporates like yourselves and making an impact in communities and supporting women in farming. So Umgebe Farming Organics, that is run by Nonhlanhla Joye, has partnered with you. Tell us about who you are, first and foremost, and your journey, and what is this about, and why you are here, and the impact and the passion. So hand over to you. Maybe your joys, let us into who you are as Tshego first.
Okay, well, Tshego, I'm Tshego Bokaba. I am born and bred in Pretoria, north of Pretoria, in a place called Hammanskraal. It's a small township called Hammanskraal.
Yes.
That's where I was raised. And then currently I stay in Centurion and I work for Momentum Group Foundation.
Yes.
I work as the Group Corporate Social Investment Manager, where I head up the Corporate Social Investment unit for the group, for the Momentum Group. Corporate Social Investment is something that is very close to my heart. It has always been.
Yeah.
When I studied at varsity, I actually didn't know I was going to land up in this. So I always say God chose this path for me, right?
Yes.
And it's a path that is very rewarding. It's a path that is very fulfilling. I get to make a meaningful, transformative work in the lives of the people that I interact with, whether it's young people who are looking for jobs or young people who are looking for skills development opportunities or young women like today who are looking to thrive in agriculture. So it's an area that really allows me to live my passion, which is youth development and just making a difference in people's lives. So that's who Tshego is. On a personal note, I'm a mom of 3, I'm married, and I love life, I love people, and I love it when people succeed, especially when Black children succeed, because in rural areas especially, because I know that they're not exposed to the same things that young people in the suburban areas are exposed to. Even our history is different to history of kids in the suburbs or even white kids. So that's why for me, when I see Black women or Black young people in rural areas become better in making great things about their lives, it makes me happy.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So you are indeed then in the right place. I was saying to the team that we are here with today to say that there are no coincidences in life, right? Sometimes, you walk the journey and you don't know where you end up. But I think right now you are exactly where you're supposed to be, right?
Absolutely.
So talk to us about how did you even get to partner with Umgebe Farming Organics? What's the journey like?
Yeah, so what we did is that when we wanted to initiate a program in KZN that was going to focus on agriculture.
Yes.
We partnered with a company called Agri Enterprise, which is, I mean, they do a lot of things in agri.
Yes.
But where Umgebe comes in is that we wanted a local organization that we could partner with that could transfer the skills as well as opportunities for market access. And Mejoy Umgebe is one organization that does that very well. They have fantastic relationships with businesses in KZN, in Pietermaritzburg, and they are able to connect these young people with access to market. But also Mejoy also lives and breathes agriculture. She's very knowledgeable in the space. She understands, farming principles, how to grow business and all of that. So that's why she was a right partner for us to go into this thing with. We know that these young women are in the right hands where Umgebe Enterprise is concerned.
Yes. No, thank you so much. It really is a much needed initiative. And, so it gives some of us that work in people or human capital spaces. It warms our hearts when we see corporates really getting involved in really marginalized, or let's say previously disadvantaged communities, where we know that issues of access are like real issues. So to witness and having an event today to actually recognize these young entrepreneurs and women in farming from marginalized communities is really commendable. So Tshego, so what is then the vision for the future? Because we know in South Africa, from a socio-political, space or perspective, there's still a long way to go, right? But then, so what is the vision for the future, and how would you, encourage other organizations, other corporates to get involved in such initiatives?
Yeah. So our vision, it's been 3 years with these ladies, and already we can see that some are really thriving in their businesses, and that's what we want to see. They are making profits between 60 to 80,000 per month.
Wow.
They are able to create, even though it's seasonal jobs, but they are able to literally contribute towards local economic growth. But the next step in terms of where we want to take these businesses is today is also aimed at understanding what their challenges are, so that we take those challenges and see how we unlock opportunities for them. Some have challenges with access to water. Some have challenges with access to land because they want to grow and become commercially viable. So next step really is around solving for those challenges that are going to get them to a point where they're commercially viable, where they access bigger markets, because that's where we are now. But it's also an opportunity to say, let's collaborate. Let's come together, work together. Because if it's just Momentum Group Foundation doing it, or if it's just Umgebe, there's going to be very little that we are going to achieve. What collaboration gives you is that it gives you scale, and it also gives you speed, right? You are also able to share resources and share expertise and knowledge. So that's why the next phase for us also includes collaboration, collaborating with like-minded partners who are going to take this forward.
But thank you so much. And also the beauty of this, as you're telling the story and I'm listening, is that it also encourages young people to stay in the rural areas and develop their own homelands. Because I think if you know, obviously, the South African landscape, most of us, even though we come from the rural areas, that's where we grew up, but we tend to gravitate towards the cities for opportunities and whatnot. But I think when I look at the future and, even just the journey that you walked, the 3-year journey that you walked with Umgebe, it's so much needed that young people learn to actually then stay and develop the rural communities with the right skills and, all the opportunities that they need. So it's just really commendable. I know that we only have 10 minutes, so let me not keep you much, but thank you for gracing us really with your presence. Any last words, any parting words that you just really want to say? There's your angle there in the camera. What would you say to young people, young professionals, or even young people? There's a young person there at Tshego somewhere in, because it's not only about KZN, right? So we've got rural places everywhere in our country, right? So a young person, a young Tshego sitting there not knowing what next to do with their time and how would they get involved in something like this, just a words of encouragement.
I think for young people, what I can say to them is that opportunities are there. They're just waiting for you to tap into them. And once you tap into them, you make the best out of them. You make sure that you don't mess up, but you take that opportunity and embrace it. And don't just limit yourself to what you know. There is social media that is available today. Instead of looking at celebrities and how they live their lives, engage with content that is going to educate you. Instead of looking at podcasts that are meaningless, look at podcasts like this podcast that is giving information, that is sharing worthwhile information, information that builds you up, and use that information to empower yourself and go out for those opportunities. And once you grab them, make the best out of them.
You're now listening to the Diversity Roundtable. I'm Pamela Klaba, entrepreneur, inclusion enthusiast, and the founder of Nonkosi Creatives with over 2 decades as a corporate HR professional. My goal is to give you insights into conversations with entrepreneurs and corporate professionals who have insightful stories of triumph and leadership. I uncover my personal journey from cultivating diversity and promoting inclusive communities. We'll also find out why building a prosperous society is vital for leadership roles. Subscribe and get ready to rise, lead, and help define the spirit of South African excellence.